In Lesson 5.2, we are going to work on rewriting percent expressions. A real-world example of when you would need to rewrite percent expressions is when you calculate markups. Markup is one kind of percent increase. You can use a bar model to represent the retail price of an item, and then the markup. Okay, so example 1. To make a profit, stores mark up the prices on the items they sell. A sports store buys skateboards from a supplier for $S. What is the retail price for skateboards that the manager buys for $35 and $56 after a 42% markup? Okay, so we're going to use the bar model first. This top bar represents S, the amount of dollars that the skateboard started at. Now we know that there's a 42% markup, which can be represented with 0.42S. However, we don't know what that new price is. So to find that new price, we're going to take S and then add the percent change. So what it started at plus the change should give us what it is now. S we know is the same thing as 1S, and 1S plus 0.42S. To add those, we just combine like terms, which is 1.42S. And now I can just plug in the values of S that they gave us. So if S is 35, I have 1.42 times 35, which is $49.70. Or if S is 56, then I have 1.42 times 56, which is $79.52. All right, so let's reflect on this a little bit. What if the markup is changed to 34%? How does the expression of the retail price change? Well, when it was 42%, we multiplied by 1.42. So if it's an increase, if it's still a markup, 34% is going to be represented with 1.34. So then we would have 1.34S. All right, pause the video and see if you can do number 2 on your own, and then play it back to see if you got it right. I'm going to go ahead and solve it. Rick buys remote control cars to resell. He applies a markup of 10%. Write 2 expressions that represent the retail price of the cars. Well, if C represents the car price, we could have 1C plus 10% of C, or we could just say 1.1 times C. So if the remote control car is $28, what is his selling price? Well, 1.1 times 28 is going to be 30.8. All right, next section is on calculating mark down. So that was mark up, which is like a percent increase. A mark down is going to be like a percent decrease. So now we know what it started at. We know the percent change. We want to find the new price. So when we use our bar model to represent it this time, we have what it's starting at and the percent change, and then what it ends at. So let's read the example. A discount store marks down all of its holiday merchandise by 20% off the regular selling price. Find the discounted price of decorations that regularly sell for $16 and $23. Before we plug in $16 and $23, let's figure out an equation that helps us find the discount price. So we know it starts at P, price, and it's discounted by 20% or 0.2. So we're going to do P minus 0.2P. Remember, P can be represented with 1P, so 1P minus 0.2P. Combine like terms, that's going to be 0.8P. All right, so now if we plug in 16 and 23, we have 0.8 times 16, which is 12.8 or $12.80. And when we plug in $23, we have 0.8 times 23, which is 18.4 or $18.40. And if you would like to see the textbook's detailed work, it is right there, same thing we just worked through. So let's reflect on this a little bit. Compare the single term expression for the retail price after a markup from example 1 and the single term expression for the sale price of a markdown. What do you notice? Okay, so 0.8 is less than 1. And then when we were doing markups, it was more than 1. So if you increase, you're going to be multiplying by a number greater than 1. This is actually a good thing to write in our notes. Increase is greater than 1. And when we find a decrease, we're going to multiply by a number less than 1. Remember, it can't be negative, but it's going to be between 0 and 1. All right, your turn. Pause the video, see if you can do number 6 by yourself, and then play it back to see if you got it right. All right, I'm going to go ahead and solve number 6. Jane sells pillows for a sale. She marks them down 5%. Write 2 expressions that represent the price sale of pillows. We could say 1p minus 0.05p. Remember, 5% is 0.05, not 0.5. And that's the same thing as saying 0.95p. All right, if the original price of a pillow is $15, what is the sale price? Well, we plug in 15 for p, and 0.95 times 15 is 4.75, or $4.75. All right, your homework today is going to be on pages 150 and 151. You're going to do numbers 1 through 13 odd. So 1 through 11 odd are on this page, and then don't forget number 13 on the next page.